Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Rangers Respite. I'm Philip, and today is another Lost Liner on Saturday. And today I have something a little bit different, but I mean, it's still Lost Liner. What makes it a little bit different is something that I will have to explain. So, I've been on a run focusing on the fall 2025 Scotch Lovers collection. There are two sort of spiritual additions to it that aren't. The first being Shadow and Light, which I do not have a bottle of. And at the moment, I can't afford to get a new one. The other one is a Discovery Club bottling from a little while ago. That is the Oak and Grist Discovery Club 2025 Cask D6. It is 62.8% alcohol by volume, aged for 3 years in a 53-gallon ex-bourbon cask from Oak and Grist in Black Mountain, North Carolina. Sorry, my brain just totally blanked on that. Working on getting them onto the single malt frontier sometime in the coming year. We're really excited about that. And the reason why this is claimed by a couple of people, myself included, actually, as a perhaps spiritual, or not spiritual, but sort of a honorary member of the Scotch Lovers Collection, is because this is an exceptionally Scotch-like American single malt whiskey. On the nose, you've got a gentle perfume of floral notes, a little bit of honey. A little bit of like, sorry. Got in there a little bit too deep trying to figure out what that note that I was getting is. Like a cantaloupe, a little bit. Soft, gentle, floral notes, a little bit of honey, a little bit of maltiness, a little bit of like vanilla and caramel, but it's mostly dominated by these gentle fruit notes and that honey. On the palate, this, not as a dig, it is an excellent thing to have. Immediately just hits me right in the face with, this is like Glenfiddich or Glenlivet if you turn the knob all the way up to 11. And like, give me all of that and make it bigger, bolder, and more powerful. So on the palate, you've got that rich malty base that I guess is sort of characteristic of that style of unpeated, approachable Speyside malt. You've got layered over top of it a little bit of like honey, a little bit of like wildflower floral notes. Not really heather, but other wildflowers. And a little bit of like woodiness and a little bit of like vanilla beans. If you've ever like taken a vanilla bean, just one of those crinkly, dark brown dried vanilla beans and just sniffed it. There's a big note of that, which is more bitter than you would expect. And it's all of these individual flavors that you can get in like Glenlivet and Glenfiddich and similar Speyside grams, cranked all the way up and like all together in like this really dense, powerful, expressive like sphere. It's nicely compressed. It's beautiful stuff. The finish, again, very Glenfiddich like. It's not super oily, so it doesn't hang around for super long. It doesn't have any one note that really coats the back of your throat and makes you think about it for a while. What it does have is this interesting, like, woody cut vegetation note that sort of really rises up over the rest before settling down into sort of a very like floral and vegetation sort of flavor that nicely and evenly uh, just sort of drifts away. It is very well balanced. It is one of those, like, you can sit here and you can pick it apart and you can like identify all those notes. But it also is just an enjoyable, sit down and sip and sort of just like you would with Glenfiddich or Glenlivet, a nice, enjoyable dram. The thing is, at 62.8% alcohol by volume, it's a bit of a cracker in terms of proof. So it is not for everybody. I've poured this for another person whose immediate uh, response to it was, "Yeah, it's a bit much." I respect that. I understand that. What's interesting to me is that it is this, big, bold dram, but it's a bold dram that's made up of all of these light, approachable flavors, and that high alcohol content doesn't show itself as like a punch in the face of alcohol vapor or like a really sharply drying, burning effect in the mouth or the throat. I think it is extremely well executed. I think it's a well incorporated dram. And it's very interesting. Now that brings me to my 3 questions that I must ask and answer. The first one, do I enjoy it? Yeah. This isn't a type of whiskey that I typically spend a lot of time with, but I really enjoyed it. It's got some really interesting nuance and that like really big, bold, all the flavors turned up to 11 that I have to appreciate. 2, do I think it's a good value? Oh, absolutely. First of all, oak and grist is hard to get outside of North Carolina. In fact, I have not been able to find a single retail partner outside of North Carolina that I can get their whiskey through. And I've been looking because, like I said, we're trying to have them on the single malt frontier. We're in talks with a representative of the distillery. We're going to try to get them on first quarter of 2026. I'm excited for that. $100, not bad. The caveat is this was a limited Discovery Club release, so you have to be a member of the Discovery Club to get it, which is a recurring monthly subscription. And the subscription service is 100% worth it, especially to me, who's kind of looking to check off various states, which I've managed to do through at least 2 or 3 of the Discovery Club releases that I have seen so far. The last question. Oh, I think I already hit it. Do I recommend it? Absolutely. Yeah. I recommend the Discovery Club as a service. I recommend this bottle as a bottle. It's hard for me to say that it is anything other than a fantastic dram. Now, before I get distracted and forget, because this is the last of the sort of real scotchy Lost Lanterns that I have, I'm just going to really quick. It's not going to let me meet this tab, is it? Oh well. Brace yourself for noise because I'm going to go ahead and hold on. I goofed. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and spin the wheel and we'll see what Lost Lantern dram we're looking at next Saturday. Opulent Orchard, a fantastic bottle that I happen to have right here. Beautiful stuff. One of my favorite Lost Lantern bottlings. And of course, it's a rye, so I'll love it. All right, now with that out of the way, back to me on full screen. Three things, real quick. One, if you like this show and you would like to see it continue, you think this show is worth supporting, I'm selling on Etsy these pens. They're turned from French oak. That French oak was from a barrel that held cognac for 45 years and then was used to finish a peated American single malt whiskey in the Pacific Northwest. It's amazing stuff. I've tried the whiskey that came out of that barrel. It is amazing. I really like it. I might review it at some point. You'll never know. Because I can't tell you exactly what distillery, because the master distiller of that distillery couldn't get her marketing team to okay me making little certificates of authenticity, and that's okay. Number two, I have a TeePublic shop with a couple of designs in it now. Neither one of them are too fancy, but they'll show your support for the show and support the show so that I can continue to make these videos, which I really enjoy doing, believe it or not, even when sometimes it frustrates me. And the third thing is, of course, I co-host the Single Malt Frontier. Uh, if you like American single malt whiskey, then that is a show to watch. We recently had an interview with Nora Ganley Roper, the head blender for Lost Lantern, and uh, Adam Polonsky, the uh, sort of the person who goes and I mean, they're both the co-founders of Lost Lantern. Adam's responsibilities seem to be more in the realm of exploring and finding new distilleries. Um, they're hitting every single state in the United States, and so far they've been to distilleries in every state in the Commonwealth. But they haven't gotten bottlings from all the states. I mean, so that's something that I'm looking forward to. In the meantime, as always, I'm going to sign out before I ramble on for too much longer. Stay happy, stay geeks. Sláinte.